Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 289. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan. We're going to talk about some trends that we've been noticing recently. Now, hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
About like that.
I'm going to take that as good. What's going down? A whole lot is going down. We're going to talk about some gaming trends that we've noticed recently in our January very first bonus episode of the year 2022.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that. First one of the year.
Is that what year? It is 2022, right? I lost track of time somewhere back in 2019, and I just haven't found it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We're going to get back to it, and it's going to be great. But before we get into any of that kind of stuff, we do have to thank our official business daddy, who still doesn't follow Business Baby on Twitter, FusionGamingOnline.com. They're your source for all your gaming needs.
Ooh, very much so. And I know we just had a show yesterday, and I told you I got a foiled paint strike.
Yep.
I actually got a whole little stack of cards because I'm working on a new deck project, but I can't say for who, and I can't say what the cards are because it's a secret. But I used CCO Fusion 5 promo code and saved 5% on all of them.
Well, that's fun.
Yes.
Were you going to buy them anyway?
I wasn't.
But somebody
But the person that I'm getting them for would have had to buy them to send them to me.
Is this some kind of super secret birthday present or something?
Not for you.
No, not for me. For the person who you're doing it for? Is that why it's a big secret? Like, why can't we just say what it is? I want to know.
Because they listen to the show.
Well, is it a surprise?
Yes. That's the point.
Oh.
So now that the cat's halfway out of the bag, I'm going to stuff it all the way back in.
Wait, but there's like 85,000 people that listen to the show. So one of you. Oh, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of you is the lucky one. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Ooh, lucky one. We were just talking before on the thing, where if you're watching on YouTube, which you fucking should be, because Editor Joe and T-Coats do lots of work for us to make us look good. And believe me, that is a lot of work to make us look good. Mm-hmm. And our subscriber count on YouTube going up. And we've decided that once we hit 3,000 subs on YouTube, we're going to do... Is it our cool... I don't know if it's our coolest giveaway, but our biggest giveaway for sure of all time. And we want to know from you what would be cool as like our 3,000 sub extravaganza giveaway. We're thinking maybe like a box of double feature, a collector box of something, Commandy Spellbook Black. Like what's something that would interest you guys? Let us know down in the comments there and we'll see what we can make happen.
Yeah, comments, great. Let us know there. You can let us know on Discord. Maybe we'll do some kind of poll. Can we do polls on Discord? I don't know.
We can talk to Laura. She'll help us out.
Yeah. We can do polls on Twitter. Maybe we'll do a poll on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter polls are my favorite.
Yeah.
And we won't even have an option where you can see the results. You have to vote if you want to see the results.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
We don't fuck around here in the nation, okay?
No. You know what I don't like about that, though? Isn't seeing the results... Isn't that just voting on the see results choice?
Yeah.
And then you're skewing what the results are. Because if you just want to see the results, but everybody just wants to see the results because nobody wants to be the person that like votes for something that is risque or not what the trend is.
Well, it's not like anybody can see what you voted for. Vote for what you want and nobody's going to know.
I don't know if a poll is the best option. Because what if we put on the poll something that nobody wants? Or what if your thing isn't on the poll? Then you have to comment anyways.
Good.
Yeah, give fucking better comment.
Yeah. Like if there's something out there that people want that we haven't thought of, you got to tell us so that we know.
Yes.
So here's the CCO life lesson of the week. If you want somebody to know that you want something, tell them.
Oh yeah, huge life lesson.
Because people can't read your mind.
Oh man, it took me and my wife like 25 years to learn that lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with the wind chill, it feels like 30.
Yeah, me and Kyler are still trying to figure it out sometimes. Where it's like I don't know what you want. You have to tell me because I don't know.
Works in Rule 0 conversations too.
Yeah, works in all aspects of life, magic and personal. So,
yes.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought of?
Tell me.
That it's a thing that we haven't had to worry about in a good long time. Totally off topic.
Sunburn.
Nope. I'm drinking a green can in front of the green screen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Man, I should have asked if we could get a shirt made that was the same color as the green screen, and then I could wear it, and it would just be like, I'd just be a floating head. That'd be
Yes.
fun.
Yes. Yeah,
do that anyway.
The green that we're getting for the shirts from the Kickstarter is a different color green than the green that you can't see because Joe has us green screen.
I hope that we're somewhere cool.
I hope we're flying through space or like
At the zoo.
shrunk down and going through somebody's bloodstream like on Magic School Bus. 2 days, 2 Magic School Bus references.
Both times, I really wish we could actually do the thing that we are referencing.
Yeah.
Both shrinking down and going through a bloodstream and shrinking down and going into somebody's anus. Because I think that the anus is a very interesting part of the body. In spite of the fact that maybe it's a little gross, it's pretty cool. Like, it's got like a really strong muscle in there and like all of the inner plumbing and stuff that makes your body like expel waste and how it manufactures energy out of food. I think all that's really interesting. And it would be cool to see, like, I'm sure it's really gross to see how it actually happens.
Where all the water absorption happens.
Yeah, like it's how your body works.
Yeah.
And that's neat because the human body is horrifying when you really think about it, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
Remember that time we talked about how spiders work?
Yep.
Human bodies are just as terrifying.
You know what I was just going to say too? Nature, terrifying.
Oh, yeah, it's super scary, man. Yeah. Nature is not at all like happy. I'm amazed that we've made it this far. If we didn't have thumbs and brains and like an instinct to stay in the house, man, we just would not make it.
You know what it is? Here's CCO life lesson from Ryan. The nuchal ligament is a ligament that holds the back of your head up more vertically. And we developed that through like evolution. Like it was a deformity at one point, but because the person with the nuchal ligament could stand up taller to reach up into trees higher, and because the nuchal ligament let our spines hold our heads more vertically, we could run. And that's how we evolved. Quadrupeds run, predatory quadrupeds run, and when they run, when their gait opens and closes, their spine flexes, and that's part of how they generate force into the ground to run. But every time your spine flexes, it compresses your lungs and you breathe out. So you can imagine what a cheetah looks like running. Every time it's taking a step, its spine and its body to create force to apply to the ground to run is pressing air in and out of its lungs and not giving the air time enough to exchange. And that's why cheetahs burn out so quickly.
Well, that's why they can't run fast for a long time.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Prey animals don't do that. So you can imagine a deer or a horse
That's why
trotting,
they kind of go ba-ding, 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 ba-ding.
their spine stays straight. And because humans, when we started to walk upright, our spines stay straight so we can take multiple strides per breath of air. It allows us to run all day. And that's how originally we started hunting, was running after something until it couldn't run anymore. And then we'd kill it. And it was because of a ligament behind our head.
Wow.
There's a CCO life lesson.
That's like a science lesson we
there
just
you go.
had there. That's cool, man.
So that's
glad I
a
know that
thing.
right
Recent trends, though.
Yeah, we were talking about, instead of talking about human evolution, I read a book the other day, and we're going to hang on the evolution for just a second.
We're going to hang on. We're going to go right into Brief History of Time by Stephen.
Not Stephen Hawking? Is that who
Yeah.
wrote it? Yeah. But I read a book a little while ago that talked about how human evolution has stalled because we don't need to anymore.
Because we don't believe in medicine.
Well, no, we don't have... the reason we don't have maybe a third arm or they used all kinds of crazy examples in the book, of course, like psychic powers and third arms and huge legs, muscles that let us jump 30 feet in the air and all that kind of stuff, is because we don't need it.
Yeah, we got it all right on our phones.
Yeah, like all of
don't need it.
regular little pitiful human species like us, we're the ones that are propagating and surviving.
Because we're smarter.
Yeah, it's not like picking everybody lives now, so none of those mutations have a chance to catch hold.
I got you. Let's turn that into a joke. We live so long now, and we've got such good medicine to keep us alive that we live so long that we think that we don't need medicine and science anymore. We've gotten so good at living through the use of science and learning that we think that we don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
We fucking next leveled ourselves as a society. That's like being so good at Rule Zero that you think that you don't need it anymore. And then you just like hop in a pod and get destroyed.
But either in the game or like verbally afterwards because you just pub stomped them by accident.
Oh, no. I was thinking the opposite. That's like, I'm not going to Rule Zero. I'm going to bring my cEDH killing machine. into this casual game, and then the 3 casuals are like, oh, really? And they just pile on. So, yeah. Because that still happens.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get piled all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I get piled when I play Bruvac, because it's got counterspells in it. You get piled when you play Turgrid.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Turgrid.
Because
right?
it's Turgrid
You
that
just
does all the
get
Turgrid
piled
shit.
on, yeah.
I also find that Toxrill gets.
Piled. Oh,
And,
yeah.
ooh, this is a good
Okay, yeah,
segue.
let's get into it. Let's
This
get
is
into
a segment
it.
of what we're going to talk about.
The trends recently.
Trends recently in Magic the Gathering, not just in life, where's kind of where now that we're back to in-person play, at least we are. We hope you are as well, and if you're not, I hope you get back to it soon because you're comfortable with it, and wherever you are is safe to do that.
Yep.
We have gotten back, and I've noticed a couple of trends that are going to sound maybe like you've heard other places, but I think are valid to bring up a little bit in how decks are being built, what's being counted as this is my shittiest deck. Because we did that a couple of weeks ago where...
We did?
You weren't there.
Oh.
The first week back after Christmas, I forgot.
Oh, not on the show, like in real life.
Yeah, in real life, I forgot to put out every week I put out let's go play Magic at Collector's Lane. Every week I put that out, and I forgot to put it out the first week back.
Yes, so that's why I didn't go.
Yeah, so,
I didn't
right? So only like 4 people showed up, and we just played a few games. It was me and Aiden and Alex, and no, Alex wasn't there. It was Jay and Jay's friend who plays the Fast Gurk
Yes.
deck. Very cool deck. And we're all playing or whatever. And we said, next week, let's all bring our just shittiest decks.
Yep.
We'll bring our shittiest decks along. So, okay.
What did you bring?
I brought, what's her name? Corona.
Oh, yeah.
Corona the False God. Because it's everything tribal and nothing tribal. And it's a all the lands come into play tapped. It's just a piece of shit. But it's my worst deck. It's fun, but it's easily my worst deck. But the other two, the younger people.
No, it's young.
Yeah, them young punks.
Yeah.
Jay, and I can never remember his friend's name. I feel really bad about that.
Oh.
So Jay, please get at me. Let me know. He brought like bird flying tribal is what Jay had.
Oh, yeah, I just played against that deck.
And like that's his shittiest deck. But did you notice like he had all of the really good card draw in there and all the really efficient rocks and all the really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like a stout 7 out of 10 deck shell.
Yeah.
With a like piece of crap tribe thrown on top of it.
Ah, 2-lane crab tribal.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I've noticed an increase in those decks that I'm getting on Twitter, decks that I'm seeing in real life, just in talking with people of what kind of cards they like to play. I'm noticing a trend towards efficiency. Not that it's bad, but I am noticing that instead of picking your commander and building a little shell so your commander makes sense, and then building whatever kind of crazy deck that you want.
Yeah.
I find people are building like a shell,
A commander format shell.
Yeah,
A just question, my liege.
Sure.
You're seeing like a homogeneity across all decks in that they have all the same mana rocks, all the same card draw or removal for their colors.
Yeah.
And then there's like 20 or 25 cards that are the deck.
Yeah.
And you think this is bad. This is a bad trend?
I don't know if it's bad, but I think that it keeps people from really seeing some of the really neat stuff that you could do, you know?
Exploring the format.
Exactly. I think that Commander gives us the opportunity to play some really kind of wacky off-the-wall stuff, and nothing you do is wrong. There's no wrong way to build a Commander deck. And so I think you could take that another step. I'm not saying play only things that cost 5 and like don't
build a bad deck.
Yeah, don't build bad decks on purpose.
But being different and being outside of the normal template rubric that people build doesn't make it bad.
Yeah.
Example. Here's our first example. A deck I talk about all the time that people know and have played against is my Lord of Tressorhorn deck. You've seen it aplenty.
Yep.
Everything dies tribal. Or when it dies tribal is what I call it.
Yeah.
It's not the regular Lord of Tressorhorn that you see when you go to like EDHrec.com.
Right.
Zombies. Because Lord of Tressorhorn's a zombie.
Right.
He's the zombie commander, and it lets you play the zombie colors, Grixis.
Right.
I'm comparing notes with people who've sent me lists. And like I said yesterday, Rachel Weeks and I were just looking at each other's lists.
Right.
And I got some ideas from her. She got some ideas from me. Both of our ideas were different. And there was another list that maybe she didn't see. I don't know if she saw it or not, but it was zombie tribal.
Right.
And I was like, I could add this zombie and it would be good in the deck, but it doesn't say when it dies. And that's my theme. And because I have a theme, it doesn't mean I'm playing bad cards to fit the theme. I'm still playing good cards, and the deck is still constructed in a way that a good deck is constructed in. It's got removal. Mm-hmm. It's got ramp. Yep. It's got card draw. Sure. The card draw is and the ramp is attached to creatures that when they die, I get card draw, or I get removal, or I get recursion when they die. And they die when I cast my commander.
Right.
So it's built around my commander, around a theme, in a way that is still the way that good decks are built. Is it a good deck? Like, it's fine.
It's pretty good.
Because it's built the way a good deck is built.
Yeah, it's better than you give it credit for.
Well, yeah, but that's because it's a good deck.
Yeah.
As in, it's built well.
Yeah.
If it went up against like a real deck, like a good deck, yeah. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad because it doesn't win lots.
Yeah.
And I think that's the trend that people latch onto is my deck is bad because it doesn't win lots.
Yeah.
Right? And like if we sat down and you played your best deck or a cEDH deck, and I sat down with other good decks, Lord of Tressorhorn isn't good because it wouldn't win.
Yeah.
But the deck itself is built well.
Yeah, and it's fun and it's good and it provides fun games for you. And, I mean, fun is a lot of the battle, but I feel like a lot of I'm gonna get hated on for this one. I think that the cEDH influence on the game. I know, I'm going for it. I'm going in.
The cEDHers are gonna jump.
I know, and it's not that because the cEDH meta, I would posit, has a card pool that is much smaller than casual Commander.
It's like Legacy versus just playing kitchen table casual.
Exactly.
Right?
The card pool is much, much smaller. And I think that some of that has trickled down as cEDH becomes more popular, more people are getting into it, more people are playing it.
They want to play the most powerful version of Commander.
Precisely. Yeah. And I think that like, what's the word I'm thinking of? That philosophy, that deck building philosophy just kind of has eked down a little bit into casual decks, where now the mana rock selection, let's just say, for an example, the mana rock selection has gotten smaller, where some of them just aren't good anymore. Like, you don't see a lot of Gilded Lotuses anymore, or whatever, right?
Even
like,
Thran Dynamos going the way of the past.
Yeah, like, it's just, they're not good enough anymore, so you're seeing more of the fucking diamonds and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the diamonds, you love them. But they're 2 mana. They're only 2 mana.
Do you know what? Do you know why I don't like the diamonds? Why I call them bad cards?
Because they ETB tapped? Because they're 2 mana and you don't like 2 mana?
No.
Why?
No. Because they're boring.
Oh.
They're boring cards.
They don't do anything else.
Why do particular people either love, in Dana Roach's case, or hate everybody else, Manolith?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right? Because it's boring. You could pick a better card at 3 mana that taps for any color that does something interesting.
Yes.
And the reason I don't like cards like Harmonize is because they feel boring. I mean, yes, they're efficient. Mm-hmm. They're fine cards to include in your deck. They don't hurt your deck by having them in there.
Manolith doesn't hurt your deck. It makes your deck better.
Yeah.
But it's boring, and some people would say that means it's not as good.
Yeah.
Not as good is it doesn't do as much.
Yeah.
If there's 3 mana taps for anything, also something else makes it better. I'm air quoting lots because I want to demonstrate that it's just a philosophy. It's just like a fake thing that we labeled it as.
Yeah, it's my deck building philosophy that I think that Replicating Ring is better than Manolith.
Yes.
And they do the exact same thing 98% of the time. But that one time the Replicating Ring makes you 8 more Replicating Rings, it's the most amazing card on the earth.
We're being a little bit trivial and hyperbolic because one could jump into the comments and say, oh, you guys are idiots and you're just ragging on cEDH because Darksteel Ingot is objectively in every way strictly better than Manolith.
Yeah.
Because it's indestructible. And we know that. Yeah. We understand that.
And Skyclave Relic is better in every way than Darksteel. That's...
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like it. Of course. I'm just saying. Like the.
Before I lose my train of thought.
Okay.
Before I lose my train of thought on the cEDH thing, it is not a bad thing that the cEDH philosophy has even saying trickled in. Even saying trickled in makes it sound like it's seeping in, like it's infecting us, like it's ooze, right?
It's super insidious. Or whatever, yeah.
It's influencing.
Yeah,
It's like
there's a good word.
It's like the moon influences the water on Earth because of fucking gravity.
Yeah.
Right? That's what causes the tides.
Yeah. And the moon is cool, and people like to look at it, and they want to think about, like, man, the moon is cool.
I'll give you another example. It's just influence. You watch Formula One, you watch race cars, any kind of race cars where Honda has a team and Ferrari has a team and Chevrolet has a team. Everybody's got a team. And they use developments in race cars, like breaking cooling ducts and keeping your brakes cool and recharging your electric batteries with energy from your brakes, because electric motors are lighter than
Conventional motors.
Conventional motors. All of that stuff came from racing. And I'm not saying cEDH is fast like race cars. That's not what I'm saying. Race cars are cutting edge, the best versions and the most competitive versions of motor vehicles.
Right.
Like most competitive and most cutting edge versions of decks are usually cEDH decks. Race cars influence mass-produced cars.
Yes.
In how they have electric motors now and recharge from the brakes and different batteries and blah, blah, blah. All that came from the racing industry.
Yeah.
Just like it's happening now, cEDH is influencing conventional everyday Magic decks, Commander decks, because of the efficiencies and because of the technologies that people are developing. And that isn't a bad thing. Oh. It's just a thing that is happening. And if you and I got in our old shitty, whatever they are, old beater trucks, we both have one, old muscle cars, compact cars, and we wanted to do a compact car meetup or an old beat up truck, farm truck show meetup, we'd just say, hey, I know that you have a race car, but bring your old truck because we're going to be driving through like a field.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what cEDH is. Bring your old truck. We're driving through a field.
Yeah,
it's kind of a stupid example, but
it makes perfect sense.
But the automotive industry continues to always be the best parallel to the Magic industry because the technology exists and it's trickling into everyday life.
Yeah.
Just like technology does, and it's just life.
Well, it's inevitable, and it's just the way that things go. And it's neither good nor bad, but I am noticing that trend where I've noticed that some of the, I don't want to say the card pool that people build from is shrinking, because it certainly isn't. There's still ladies in boats, and there's still bald guys with hats, and
crab tribal,
frog tribal.
When it dies tribal.
Yep. See, there's so many just outrageous decks, but I'm noticing that there's not a, I don't want to say homogeneity because it hasn't gone to that level yet, but I am noticing a trend where a lot of decks are running those, like, I'm in these colors, so I play X, Y, Z, A, B, C to get me to playing these things. And I've noticed that, and the card pool for A, B, C, X, Y, Z is getting smaller and smaller, and I think it's pushing out.
Oh yeah, ABC is all your mana rocks, and now 3 and 4 drop mana rocks aren't played as often because 1, 2, 3 is how I make my deck good.
Exactly.
With harmonizes and such.
Yeah.
Is getting more efficient or cheaper to cast. So you need faster mana rocks in front of them. Yeah. And then how I actually win is Crab Tribal. It's like, oh, this is my Crab Tribal, but turn 1 Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
Turn 1 Mana Crypt, turn 2 Harmonize, turn 3 fucking Crab.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second.
Yeah. And then like,
wait a minute.
And then turn 4, it's like Craterhoof Behemoth.
Yeah.
Because you need a way for your crabs to win, right? And I think
Crabber Hoof. Oh, don't Google that.
That would be that'd be kind of a neat
that sounds like an uncard.
If it was Crater Hoof, except it was a big crab stomping over the forest, that'd be cool. Like one of those ones with the little claw and the fucking big claw.
Yeah, the big claw. Those big claw guys.
What are those called? King crabs? Fiddler crabs.
King crabs are just huge. Fiddler crabs? I think fiddler crabs because they got one big hand.
Yeah, they got one great big one that looks like a fiddle, and they go.
Is that what it is? I thought they held a fiddle with that.
Maybe they held the fiddle with like the big hand.
I don't know.
Used the little
this seems
hand.
Like something that maybe Joe would know.
Hopefully, it'll be on the screen either behind, in front, or around us,
or chasing us. I don't know if it would be or not.
It could be. You never know. Cephalids, they're terrifying because they're little crab people, right? Cephalids?
No, those are squid people.
Those are squid people.
Homirids. Yeah. Oh man, I gotta put homirids in my crab deck, don't I?
Of course you do.
There's actually a good card from Fallen Empires. It's Homerid. No, it's something with an egg on it. Deep Spawn Homerid egg. Deep Spawn egg.
Deep Spawn eggs is a card. I think.
Is that a card?
I think it is. I don't know if it's a
I
good
wish
card.
that they would just errata those bastards to crabs.
Just be crabs.
Because there's just like, not very many crabs.
Or crustacean. Like errata crabs to be crustaceans and hominids to be crustaceans and anything.
Yeah, like a mother
sea creature
term.
with a shell.
Could it be like a, no, it's got to be, I don't know, hominids got to be crabs.
It's like how anything that are hairy and have paws are all beasts.
Mm.
Right? Like everything's a fucking beast.
Yeah, but not everything's a crab. That's like saying my truck is made out of metal because it has metal parts. My truck is also made out of plastic, if that's true, because it has plastic parts.
I guess.
Not everything's a crab. Not everything's a beast just because it's hairy.
Tell it to Magic.
Yeah, I guess I have to write them a letter. Because they totally responded to my last email.
Wait, what was it about? Was it about promo cards? We haven't got one of those in a while because I think...
Because they're spreading the love around.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
That must be it.
Ooh, I talked to them yesterday. I'm gonna spread some love actually again from my boys over at Tanka Gaming. And they got a Christmas card, like the Christmas card.
Oh yeah,
with the Christmas card. Yeah, super cool. I was very proud of them.
Yeah, well we're
jealous as fuck because I want one too.
Yeah. Anyway,
did you get one? And you just didn't tell me.
No, I didn't get one.
Okay, good.
No.
Fucking good.
Totally wouldn't have told you though.
I know you wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would have. I would have. We put it on the wall. We got preview card on the wall.
Oh yeah,
there.
Both of them, man. That
well, no, that Rebecca wasn't a preview card, but it's the same name as my wife. So
man, look how curled that thing is.
Yes,
it's like 10 feet away, and I can see the bow in it.
Yes.
Wow.
We like to enjoy our magic in Studio CCO in 3D. Yeah. And in 3D, I mean the center of the card is closer, and the edges of the card are farther away.
Noticeably farther away. Yes.
Okay, well, listen, trends. We're talking about trends still. We're talking about efficiency, race, even though your deck is still like jank, but it's surrounded by like the shell.
Yeah.
We can't really solve this, right? It's not like talking about it is going to... Talking about it raises awareness that it's happening, but like, do we want to incite any action? Is this actionable? Is there anything that we want to say to CCO Nation, like, do this, don't do this? Well, is there anything like that?
Well, do it and don't do it in deck building is hard to say to somebody because we always say there's no wrong way to build a deck. But I would encourage people, when you sit down to build your deck, when you're filling in your card draw and your mana ramp slots, like, look at the cards and think, am I playing this because it's going to get me to turn 7 on turn 5? Or am I playing this because it does something neat? You know, and if maybe you can find something that speaks to you a little bit more, where it's like,
those things aren't mutually exclusive, though. Turn 7 on turn 5 and doing something neat is possible.
Oh, absolutely,
right?
it is.
Like there's a Venn diagram overlap there.
Definitely, but there are some cards that don't. The diamonds are one of them, where that card is strictly in there to accelerate your deck, and that's all it does. So maybe you can find something that...
I think we can summarize 2-drop mana rocks, because none of them do really anything other than give you mana, except for Mind Stone. That doesn't actually do that unless you get rid of it.
Yeah.
Unless you sacrifice it, right?
But I mean, maybe there's something else that just does something cool that maybe it gives your deck a new interaction or just something that interacts with like 1 or 2 cards that you're already playing. And maybe that's something you could do. I'm not saying you have to, but it's something you could keep in mind while you're building. And maybe if you're, well, I'd better put Harmonize in my deck so you need to draw cards. Maybe there's something else that you could put in your colors that just says draw cards on it. Maybe you could recur what's that elf that draws you a card when it comes into play?
Oh, man, I play that card too.
They know the one. It's
ETB's draws a card.
Exactly. If you're on YouTube, which you should be.
Wall of Omens, that's what it is.
There, Wall of Omens or Wall of... Is there a
Wall of Blossoms.
Wall of Blossoms, yeah. Like,
Wall of Blossoms?
Wall of Blossoms, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And maybe you could do that instead. Maybe you have more enchantments in your deck than you know of. So you play Eidolon of Blossoms or whatever, right? Like, maybe there are other ways to diversify what you're playing. So you're not always... Well, I'm building 2 new decks this set. I gotta
get here's all my mana rocks. Yeah, I gotta throw all these ones out. Here's all the 2-drop ones.
Yeah.
Here's my 86 card draw spells. Well, I'm gonna get these 10 because I need 10, and they have to draw me 2 cards each or whatever it is, or be repeatable. And I need 10 because over the last 5 or 6 years, every content creator on the earth has said you need 10 card draw spells, and
it's wrong because you don't need anything. What you need is to have a deck that you like.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And it does. And don't build it for win ratios.
I think you lose. It gets lost in translation though when you say you need a deck that you like.
Yeah.
What if you've never built a deck before? And most likely, anybody who's watching or listening to this has built decks before.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm thinking like new Jesse at EDH that's friends with Jen and stuff.
Yeah.
He's bought 2 precons and he's like bought a bunch of booster packs and he's like slotted cards in from booster packs into precons.
Yeah.
Never built a deck from scratch before. So does he have a deck that he likes? Yes.
Hell yeah.
He associates, is the deck good, with how much it wins. And it probably wins a fine amount of time. But if to him, or if you're coming over from a regular format to Commander, you might think, oh, I'm not winning very much. My deck must not be good. And then I like my deck, but it's not good. And then you lose it in translation. And if you're new, you don't know how to make your deck good. So you just go online and you read or watch content or go to edhrec.com and it's all just this homogenous soup.
Yeah.
It's like, what I'm saying is it gets lost in translation when you say you have to have a deck you like.
I suppose,
because people
and some
just
people
assume that they're like, they don't assume. You can't assume that anybody assumes.
Yes.
But when you say you have a deck that you like, people are like, well, it doesn't win, so I don't like it. I take it apart, it never wins. And I think that's the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm saying is don't let winning influence whether you like a deck or not.
Yeah.
You have to have communication skills and rule zero skills to let people know the experience that you want to have with that deck.
And if you're having fun, then, like I've said this a whole bunch of times, if you're having fun, you've already won.
Ooh.
Like, winning at the end of the game is cool, but it's not like, we're not playing for money or prizes or points or any of that stuff. And if you are, then this conversation doesn't apply.
Yeah.
But if you're just playing casually wherever with your buddies at the kitchen table or with your friends at EDH or wherever it is you're playing, and if winning is what you want to do, that's fine too. But, I mean, don't not do something because like, oh, I don't know if this is going to make me win. You
know what? Like, if and I'm going to get jumped on now. Now it's my turn to get jumped on.
Ooh.
Maybe you do play to win and you're playing competitively. If you're playing to win and you're playing competitively, or cEDH, I don't know, what does it mean to play competitively? Does it mean you're playing for money? Like, do people play cEDH for money? Do you play Commander competitively for money when you play cEDH?
I honestly don't know, and that's a question to our cEDH brethren out there.
I think if you play for money, like, then that makes it gambling. Or for
prizing of some kind.
You're towing the line. Well, what's prizes? It's money.
You know what I mean.
There's no tournaments. There's no tournaments there's no cEDH tournaments going on right now, like, really.
Yeah.
There's no circuit for it. There's no pro tour for it, right?
Well,
and the pro tour because it's a game of chance, or because it's a game of skill, not a game of chance. It's not gambling, but they have to give you stuff in certain countries to make it not gambling. If you don't, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, what is gambling? What is not gambling? That's not what this conversation is. But if you're playing competitively, and cEDH is the game that you play, then that's what's fun to you. That's why you play it, because it's fun. Because the thrill of trying to win is fun, and you're probably not playing for money.
Yeah.
Nothing's at stake. Maybe your pride, maybe you get a deck featured like on the deck builder or the cEDH deck database.
Sure. Because
you won an event. Because there are like online events and people do play cEDH, but nothing's at stake. So the challenge of trying to win a competitive, tuned, optimized, powerful game is what you find fun. So I guess you're still having fun even if you're playing at the highest level.
Yeah, and you can have fun at the high. It doesn't matter what level you're playing at that you're having fun. I think who I'm speaking to is just kind of I'm going to build what got me thinking about this this is a bad deck, and it's just no, it's not. It
goes back to my Lord of Tressorhorn example.
Exactly. It's not a bad deck. It's a very well-built deck, and it's well-built because it has this mono blue shell that's here. And this deck, just like our deck from yesterday, it could be any deck. It's every Izzet Spellslinger deck with a difference, a little bit different here, a little bit different here. But in here, in the middle, is the same. And you could take your mono flying bird tribal deck and just turn it into crabs. Just by taking the birds out, putting crabs.
Oh, yeah.
You want it to be merfolk? Now it's merfolk. You don't have to change anything. You change
It sounds like you do think this is bad.
Well, Personally, I don't like it. But I don't want to talk like anybody else shouldn't do it, because, I mean, I'm not here to tell you how to build decks. I'm just saying I'm noticing a trend where, and maybe people don't even notice it. You know, like I've noticed... Do you think you're anecdotally noticing it? Like, do you think that it's happening more than you think it's happening? Or maybe it's...
Not trying to next level you, but do you think that you just thought you noticed a thing and now you're stuck on it?
It might even be happening less than I think it's happening. But it's with people that I'm talking to and decks that I've seen since I've gotten back to in-person play, I'm noticing more efficiency shells, is what I've been calling them.
Oh.
That are just... Here's the shell for this deck, and then I've put what I call a crappy deck on top. Well, I want this deck to be better, so I'll take this shell and I'll just put some different cards around it.
It's like you're taking the frame of like a Ferrari and putting an old Model T on top.
Exactly. And it's just kind of the way things... And I don't really like it because I really enjoy I enjoy the deck building process, and I like to have more actual cards in a deck than cards that just give me more cards. But again, just me.
You know what? I think we mentioned this yesterday and said we might talk about it. The deck building process, that threshold that you have to pass in terms of this thing interests me.
Yeah.
Whether it be a card or a creature type or an ability or a commander, there's got to, for people who've played for a long time and people who talk about the game as much as we do, there is a very high threshold to make us build something, right? Like, I talk about Crab Tribal all the time.
Doesn't have a Crab Tribal deck.
Don't have it. I don't have, and it's almost become a meme at this point that I don't have one, because I know that the best commander for that deck is Chulane. And we've even done Chulane Crab Tribal on the show. Like, it would be easy for me to do this.
Hell yeah, we've already done it.
Yeah.
It's already there.
But I don't want to do Chulane. Everything about that deck has got me past the threshold except for the commander. And it's twofold. A, I don't want to build Chulane. B, I don't want the deck to be demonstrably worse because it doesn't have Chulane, and it just be a deck that isn't any good because the power level is just so low that even I don't want to play it. And that's saying something, right?
Yeah.
I think that shell, that efficiency shell, as you call it, of all the best mana rocks that we have to play now because we have to be faster than the most powerful thing at the table to be able to interact with it. I think you don't like it because it takes away the creativity. It takes away the expression. It takes away all of those 3-drop mana rocks, for example, that have abilities stapled to them now that are interesting and cool and thematic in some cases. It takes all that away. And you're left with, well, Mind Stone, Thought Vessel, Commander, Signets.
Yeah. Brawl Ring,
Arcane Signet.
Yeah.
You're left with those, and you have no creativity or no juice left to squeeze into your commander soup that you made.
Yeah.
And
because your base is all the same. It's kind of...
It's like chicken stock.
Yeah.
I understand. And for that reason, it's bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to put all those things in my deck when I get to the threshold of building a deck. And I know you built tons of decks last year. Yeah. And lots of people did. Lots of people only built decks last year and didn't actually play.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I played a little bit, but I built like no decks or one deck.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being hyperbolic. Maybe I built 2 decks. Whatever.
The point
is in a whole year I built 2 decks.
Who were they?
Averna the Chaos Bloom, Super Friends Cascade.
Okay. That was the year before, wasn't it? Because didn't that come with Commander Legends? That was Modern Horizons 2. Madi Ho-Ho.
No, it was Commander Legends.
Oh, so that was the year before last then.
Yeah, but I built it in 2020.
Oh, okay.
I built it during the pandemic.
Okay.
And I'm not the only one. And Bruvac. But Bruvac was already a Persistent Petitioner's deck before it was that.
You turned Pramicon into Bruvac.
Yeah, and all of the homogeneity, all that efficiency that we have to include in our deck discourages me or disincentivizes me or makes me feel bad that I have to include that, or else I'll just always lose when I actually cross that threshold to build a deck. Now, I don't think that that's true, but I can see how people would think that's true based on what they've heard and read and experienced in store.
Yeah.
Right? Oh man, he just made so much mana so fast because he went like Mana Crypt into Soul Ring, into Thought Vessel, and then on turn 2 he played like a 7-drop, and then it was all over. Because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't kill it because he had like a Fierce Guardianship too, because he had his commander out. Because he had all the mana. How am I supposed to beat it? And if you don't have a lot of experience in the game, you don't know how to politic, you don't know how to rule 0 very strongly or effectively, you might just think that it's game over. I need to have all those cards.
Yeah. Or you think, oh man, variance. You never think I definitely varianced a game at EDH on 30.
You're using variance as a verb?
I used variance because that's how I won that game. Because I had an opening hand that was just fine. It had 3 land and a 3-drop mana rock in it and some stuff. And then I drew a Sol Ring and I drew another rock and I went into turn 4 Toxrill. And that was it. The game was over at that point.
Because nobody can land any low drop creatures.
Yeah, because now none of your... And I played Toxrill, killed this guy's commander, all this guy's mana rocks, had 4 more creatures all of a sudden, and I had overwhelming creature card and board advantage at that point. And the guy who had the removal in his hand couldn't draw the 3rd land to kill it.
Oh, dang. There's the ultimate variance.
Right? Like, so, and I think that some people see that and think, no...
Toxrill's toxic. He's way too good, right?
Exactly. Oh, he's so good because he came out on turn 4 and that guy couldn't... You know how many things had to happen for that to happen?
Next level, too. Is Toxrill so good because Black has access to big mana and rituals from a long time ago and all the tutors? Toxrill's so good. And then Brando says, well, I'm not building with that efficiency shell that includes 8 tutors and all the rituals and bubbling muck and Cabal coffers and everything. I'm not building like that because I want my Toxrill deck to be unique and interesting and different every game.
Yeah.
And you can say that in a Rule 0 conversation. You can say it's not like Stacks Toxrill.
Yeah.
Did I just make that up?
Yes, you did. Yep.
Well, it's already a deck, but I don't know if it was called that. But it doesn't need to be that, right?
No.
To be creative and interesting, you actually actively don't want it to be that.
Yeah, like it can still do all the Toxrill stuff. It just does it a little bit differently.
Now, let me ask you this.
But I don't think anybody's ever going to look at my deck and say, "Oh man, that deck it's too strong." And some games,
it looks like
that
it's
happens
very strong.
where I just wipe out everybody. And it's like, "Oh my god, that's so strong." The week before that, it took 2 guys focusing particularly on me to kill me, but because I was getting some good draws, I was having, and I think that a lot of people look at that variance and think that when somebody does very well, instead of saying, well, they have a deck that's built very casually and it had really good draws, they think, oh man, like that, I got to make my deck faster and better because that is going to happen every time, and it's not.
Toxrill's the super high end of power, and how do you beat the super high end of power? Flying faster than it.
Yeah.
I have to beat you before you do your powerful thing, so I got to go faster.
Yeah.
Not always the case, and you can solve that just by communicating.
Yep.
I have a variance story.
Oh, cool. I love variance stories.
And it comes on the back of something that I think is so damn cool.
Okay.
Ubris, the milieu gets big equal to amount of cards you have in exile.
Uh-huh.
Horror and Nightmare Tribal.
Oh, yeah.
So Jen's got it. She got the deck.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, man, I think that card is so cool. If I didn't have Brewback, I'd build it. And it'd be like an exile mill deck.
Okay.
So she's playing that.
Okay.
And Jay, this said EDH and M the other day. Remember I came over and I had that awesome win?
Yeah.
This is the story.
Okay.
So Jen starts the game with Leyline of the Void in play.
Oh, dang.
And we're like, Ubris, exile, and she's going to mill us, exile. Ubris, every time he hit the battlefield, she cast him 2 or 3 times. 50-50 every time. Every time. Because she had a bunch of mill cards that milled directly to exile because of Leyline.
Right.
So I'm like scheming with her a little bit because Jay, playing mono black, big mana, make demons equal to life gain.
Right.
And he's just got like 8/8s and 12/12s, and he's trying to swing and swing and swing, and we just keep like chump blocking so we don't die.
Right.
And I'm playing Calamax, dinosaurs in trains against like
Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs against like big daddy black.
Oh shit.
And like Demir control exile everything.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh no, this is gonna end badly for me. I had 2 cat tokens off of a Seeker's Chariot.
Sure.
And they got wiped the next turn. And that was it. Played Calamax once, wiped. That was it. Like all game. And I'm just like trying to bounce things that are attacking me and just threatening like Don't attack me. I'll kill it, etc.
Okay.
Liam, the other player, gets killed. Jay kills him. He's like, I just want to die. I want this game to be over. He's bored, and it was like, and he's like 14, and the game went on for over an hour. So he's like, and Jay's like, okay, I'll kill you. And then Jen is like, okay, I'm gonna try and kill you. Jay kills all her stuff, kills her, and then it's just me and Jay left, and he's got like 3 8/8s, 12/12. They all fly. Lifelinking commander, and he's at like 36 life.
Oh my god.
And I'm at 17. And he goes, one turn he goes, Cage Sun.
Okay.
All his mana taps for 2.
Oh, yeah.
Cabal
And
Coffers.
all his dudes get bigger, too.
All his dudes get bigger. And he goes Cabal Coffers. And I'm just like trying to live, right? He kills Jen on his turn or whatever. I'm just doing something to try and live. Got nothing. But I got a twin cast, and I got an increasing confusion in my graveyard. Or sorry, increasing vengeance in my graveyard.
Okay.
And I got a Narset's reversal. Oh, baby. So, this is what I do.
Okay.
His turn. He goes all in.
Oh, shit.
He goes 27-point drain life. And I'm like, oh, no. Because he's going to gain 27. I'm going to lose 27.
And die.
And I go, okay. Response. Flash back my increasing vengeance for 5. Copy your drain life for 27 twice. Targeting you. Narset's reversal your drain life back to your hand. Copying it again. Targeting you. And man, he's like, oh my God. I can't even be mad. I was like, how much life you got? Does that get you? He's like, well, 27 times 3, and I'm at like 36.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it gets me.
Yeah, that'll get it, yep.
Man. It was so awesome. And it was exactly the amount of mana I had. I had 4 mountains, a forest, 2 islands.
Nice.
So I go 5 for the increasing vengeance, copy your thing twice, and that would have killed you. But just in case you countered it with a black counterspell.
They exist. Dash hopes.
But he was already all in, so he didn't even have mana. And then I go, Narset's reversal. Bounce it in addition to. Oh, man, it was so awesome. It's so good. So that was my variant story.
And does that make your deck so good that Jay has to run out and buy Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Sol Ring?
No. It was just, the increasing vengeance got milled, and I knew that I wanted to keep the copy spells in my hand because he had like 3 non-basics. And I had a Price of Progress. Ooh. And I'm like, okay, if I can Price of Progress like 3 or 4 times, that might get him if he randomly goes down like to 20 or 15, right? Like I might be able to get him in response to him gaining life. Get you, right? Yeah. Maybe. That was the plan. And it turned out that he burnt himself.
He got himself.
Yeah, and he's like, I just top decked it too. Because I didn't want to risk like you bouncing it with a Rift or something. I'm like, fuck, you think this deck plays Rift, man? It's bad. It's bad, but the deck is constructed well.
Yeah.
Even though it's not very powerful. It's constructed well, and I had something to save me. So that's my story.
And you know where those stories are both fun, and they come from variance. And you get variance by not having homogeneity in your decks.
Oh! Brought it all the way around. That sounds like a good final thought of the day.
I think it might be. So I hope that you all agree. And if you don't agree with us, let us know down below in the comments. And let us also know what you'd like to win for our big 3,000 sub giveaway. And if you have anything that you're going to buy anyway and you want to save some money on it, because of course you do, FusionGamingOnline.com, source for all your gaming needs. Special promo code CCO Fusion5 at checkout to save yourself 5% off. And let them know that them partnering with us was the best idea they've ever had, and help to convince them that they should follow us on Twitter.
Well, follow you.
Yeah, me. Just me.
Aren't you supposed to do hit our theme song or something?
Well, no, I did the final thought of the day, and then you have to say something now. And then I'll be like, yeah, we'll be back in the next episode.
I got this.
Okay.
If you want more CCO content, you tune in this Friday, because we got a brand new Top 5 and 5 coming out.
Oh, sick. And that's going to keep you over until the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!